मोबाइल का सर्विसिंग है। ये तो महाराष्ट्र मुंबई नहीं, ये तो दूसरा वाला गुजरात से था, अहमदाबाद से। इसमें मुंबई, सनी फ्रॉम मुंबई।
Good afternoon, sir. Is the slide visible?
Yeah, Sunny.
Yes, sir. Sir, can I start?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to all the dignitaries in the meet. My name is Sunny Nanade, and the topic of my presentation is simulation and application of lean in engineering curriculum to reduce the educational waste and increase its educational value. My major advisory, Dr. Sachin Lal, and the members are Dr. Shubham Goswami, Dr. Arvind Sharma. So the outline of the presentation, this is the outline of the presentation wherein I'll be sharing the objectives. Then what all progress have I made in PP 1 and 2, then the progress to date, results and discussions, and then what are the paper publications details. So all those things I'll be sharing. The objectives of my entire work are to build a lean based process for engineering curriculum development, then to assess the educational value of the lean based development system, then to adapt the changes based on the assessment into the framework. The progress made in each presentation. So on the left hand side I have given the number 1, 2 and 3. So in progress 1 I did use I did use of quality management tool in curriculum design, then key performance indicators to assess at entry level. So these things were done in progress presentation 1. Then in the second presentation, the data collection with 4Q test model was done and data analysis from the collected data was done. In this progress presentation 3, building and implementing a process-based curriculum framework is done, and then adapting the framework for wider use, those things are done now. So I would just again like to introduce the lean process. So in the lean process, we do identify the value first, then we do try to map the value, then we do create a flow, we do establish a pull, and then we do seek perfection. So based on this lean principle, I have tried to develop this entire curriculum development framework. Then the first thing means in the steps itself is identifying the value. So in order to be very effective to develop the curriculum or to deliver the curriculum, the main issue till now what I did face, since this is my third college and in all the colleges, we were directly given the means usually it is the same everywhere. So we are either given the 10th marks or the 12th marks or GEE marks, and with that we are usually advised to what we can say is quantify a student how good or bad he is. And again this issue was always faced since for first year also I was given many subjects to teach. So in there this problem was there, like parents used to complain in the final or in 12th he is having 90%, 94%. Why is he or she not able to do well in engineering mechanics or engineering drawing? Sorry, I'm very sorry for the interruption. So this was the problem. What I did try to do is I did try to identify the level of student understanding. So along with these marks which we are given, so this 4Q test was developed in PP2. In that 4Q test component I did add, which is stress. So this 4Q test which was earlier developed did include testing of 4 quantitative domains. So I did try to quantify the students in these 4 Qs, which I will be sharing in the coming slide. Then this, along with these 4 Qs, again in this particular semester, I did have a test with first year IT students, first year mechanical students, and third year MBA tech students. So in order to identify the level of understanding, this is the final Excel file which I do get after those tests were given. I have not included all those test details because they were already shared in the previous presentation. The name or what these Qs were, the first one was adversity quotient. So just after roll number, you can see in the heading AQ is there. Then next was intelligence quotient, then was emotional quotient, and then was the spiritual quotient. Along with this, one more thing I did try to access with the help of questionnaire over here. So this was the stress quotient. So altogether now there are 5 tests which were taken or which were given to the students, and based on that this 4QS result was calculated at the beginning of the semester. So in this 4QS test, so all the means cognitive part of the student was checked. In the previous results, it did match, like there was a very big difference between the final marks, like 12th marks or 10th marks of a student and these results. So what AQ, IQ, EQ, SQ he was having in the reality just before the beginning of the semester, and means 2 to 3 months ago he did give one test wherein he is scoring 95%, and over here he or she is scoring very less. So this difference was there, which directly gave a clear indication that whatever good as a, if we do consider an engineering college as an industry, so whatever raw material was given to us, a label which was already stuck, that level and the quality what we are getting, that was initially not matching. Now based on this result, again an initial value for the curriculum development is being done, which I'll be sharing now. Then these HML, so these are means the entire data was in the form of numbers. So from all the tests, these numbers were there based on the entire test. So from the references where I did took these tests, in there the categorization was already given. So based on that, I did categorize only in 3 different categories. So for AQ also, student might be in high, medium, or low category. So based on that, this particular entire Excel sheet of every class was being formulated. Then based on this, what we means I did try to means highlight over here. For example, in the third row, you can see everything is good. Stress is medium in the student, but he is very low in spiritual quotient. So these 2 things, like stress, the first one, and the a spiritual quotient, these 2 things are there, which means even though if the stress is high or low, it may what we can say show its a negative effect in a long run. So initially I did just focus on these 3 cues, means I'll be showing those things. Then in the last row also we can see that low intelligence quotient is there, then low emotional quotient is there, and the student is having, he or she is having high stress. So because initially now everywhere whenever we do usually want to go to accreditation, so there again they do ask us like what you do to motivate the weak students. So just beginning at the beginning of the semester, we can just have this particular type of test what I did do, and based on that throughout the semester, like how the student is going to behave or what all factors will we have to keep in mind, all those things are ready in our hand. So these things can be shared with other faculty members also, and the subjects like engineering mechanics or engineering mathematics, where directly from this IQ we can predict also, like if the IQ is high, then the student won't have any problem. So we can again focus on the students who are having low IQ. So when a teacher usually starts a semester and when he or she is meeting the student for the first time, so it usually does take him 1 month, 2 months, or a teacher may be good. So within 1 week also, 1 week interaction also, he or she may get familiarized with the student, and he or she can identify the drawbacks with the student. But this by taking this test just before the semester, I was having all the details, like who or means he or she was having what particular type of issue. So stress also was usually there. So all these things I did try to access based on the IQ or what we can say cognitive level of the student. Then in order to do this, or the what identifying I did got was stress was mostly medium and high in the first year students. So whatever whoever students did just join in after the 12th standard, So they were having means the lowest count was medium. The student was having a medium or a high amount of stress in the first year. So now what usually everyone has started doing that induction program. So in that induction program, these things can be very well figured out. Like whoever is having stress, so we can just make them familiar with the environment. Switching of branches or switching of colleges is more common nowadays. And also, if he or she gets familiar with some students, or he or she gets familiar very easily in that particular college and with the teacher, so this stress factor can be taken into consideration, and we can just what we can say assure that the student will do good in that particular semester. Then students with medium and high adversity quotient had less stress. So what I did again try in adversity quotient was we did try to make him imagine with weird situations, like what will happen if this thing goes wrong, and all those questionnaires were given. So this adversity quotient showed like how a student would be behaving in very adverse scenario. So those with good capability of working in adverse scenarios, they did have less stress. So this was also the finding from my study, which I did do. Then high emotional students showed medium or high stress. So wherever in that entire three divisions data, wherever I did see emotional students whose means in the column of EQ, wherever H is written, so everywhere either M was there or H was there in that particular stress column. So if a student is highly emotional, he is definitely going to have high or medium stress. So that was what I did conclude from that particular test data, which I did conduct. Then in HSC marks, intelligence quotient did not match. So usually whatever the percentage was there, so that did not match, or it did not means if a student is getting, or I did categorize them in high. So if H is there in HSC, his IQ may or may not be high. So this again did show that in 10th or 12th there is what we can say classes are there, then from home also there is pressure, students their lifestyle is also very different, and all those things are there, because of which they did score good marks. And because of all this pressure till either 10th or 12th, as soon as they do join engineering, so there this particular problem does arise. So and again high spiritual students, so this is what I did got in this particular this thing. Then I'm really sorry because I will not be able to show the animation on the right hand side, or these are the level of learning. So we, I mean, so since all of us might be familiar with this particular pyramid over here, so these are the six levels of learning in revised Bloom taxonomy. So remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So in this, whatever 5 tests I did take, so from the data I did try to just correlate them with these particular 6 levels. So initially for level 1 and level 2 only IQ is sufficient. So if we are giving any problem for a student wherein the level 1 or level 2 type of question is there, so IQ was sufficient for that. If we do just go beyond this particular second level, then along with IQ, SQ is also does come into picture. If level 4 problem is given, then along with IQ, SQ, emotional quotient does come into picture. Then in level 5, along with means all the 4 Qs are there, which directly tell whether a student would be having a capability of evaluating particular type of problem which is given or not. Then if the entire 4QS model is considered, so seeing those data, if level 6 type of problem is given, so a student who was having very good output high of this 4QS entire model, so he or she, the data is means if level 6 type of problem is given, he or she will be able to do that particular type of problem very easily. So this is what how I did try to map. So as this is the second part. Initially we do try to identify the value. So I did try to identify the values of a student by using this 4QS model. Now this is the second part wherein I do try to map. So in order to map, since everyone who usually uses this Bloom's taxonomy to deliver the curriculum, so this is how we would be using those particular variables and mapping over here. Again, the simulation model, which is developed in Java. So in that also, what I have tried is I have just tried to give these 4QS values, and based on that, in that framework, whenever we do try to create any instructional objective with these levels, so it is directly mapping with the SQ, and it will not SQ, sorry, these 4 questions on the right, 5 questions on the right, and it does let us know beforehand like how a student might be performing. So I will be showing those things also. So this is how I did try to identify the level of a learning. So this was my final 4QS model. So based on this, again, means on the above chart, which I did share with you all just now. So based on that, this particular table is being formulated, wherein you can see I am on the top hand side, the levels are there: level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and level 6. And just below that, the tests are there corresponding. So again, over here, what I did do was I did create a mapping of these values of the data and the test values and their student corresponding value, so that I can now have look, or now I am clear like how my student will what we can say will behave, or how a student's performance might be there if he or she is given this particular type of question. For example, from level 4, that is analyzing, if a question is given, so how would be the development, or how would be the outcome from a student? Because initially nowadays we cannot directly change the levels also of the examination. So course objective, whatever objectives levels are there, based on the same levels usually we do give the exam. So those mappings also I will be showing. So it is very good that while creating the curriculum itself, we do try to figure out a level wherein the students' outcome would be good, so that the attainment and all those parts are good, and we do not have to what we can say face any issue in the later part. So this will again reduce whatever waste we might be producing if things are not mapped properly, and hence the educational value of whatever the instructional objectives and the curriculum and the subject, whatever the syllabus is being prepared, so those things would be directly mapping. Now this is what is the what we can say from a total of means in a total class of some X students. So for FEIT, the total number of students was 57. Then first year mechanical, they were 60 and again 60. So based on this particular total number of students, again the level of understanding. So level wise, I have tried to segregate the student. The red data shows for first year mechanical. The blue line shows for first year IT. Now you can see like the third year, means first year students, most of the students do fall in level 1 and level 2 category only. So if while designing a curriculum, or while delivering a curriculum, while delivering a lecture, if we are trying to give a problem of level 5 or level 6 or level 4, so in that particular time we, or at that particular instance, we have very less students which will be able to do that particular thing very properly. And as means from the first year till the third year, so in third year students, the level was equally distributed over 3 levels. So this is also an indication that as the students do progress, their level of understanding is increasing. But again, we will have to be very clear while delivering everything, like what level of indications we do want them to perform over here. So this is the two-dimensional taxonomy, which is again an revised, what we can say, and revised and advanced version of the Bloom's taxonomy, what he did give. So I will be, means I did use this particular second dimension taxonomy, which was again which was again given by Anderson and Kothul. So based on this, as we can see, initially we did have only the cognitive process dimension. So we did have the level 1, remember, understand, applying, analyzing, evaluating and creating. So this was the first level of dimension which we did had from the previous diagram of the Bloom's pyramid. And what Anderson did was, Anderson did add the second dimension, which is called as the knowledge dimension. So in knowledge dimension, he did add total of 4 different domains over here. So over here, he did add factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, and metacognitive knowledge. So I will be going through all these things, how I did do all those things, and this will be directly the main dashboard of that particular a framework, wherein we can directly click on any cell, and based on that cell we can directly what we can say, create our instructional objective, or we can go ahead with creating a particular type of quiz, particular type of topic which will have that particular level of understanding. So this is again 2-dimensional, wherein on the left hand side vertically the knowledge dimension is there, and on the top right hand side horizontally the cognitive process dimension is there. So the flow to design curriculum now means in using this particular Bloom's taxonomy, again there is very big problem. Like, we have been given n number of verbs and n number of action verbs and n number of nouns which we will be using. So based on those nouns, I just did try to figure out some nouns which are directly what we can say, which will directly indicate that this is the level of understanding. Because again there is an issue, if we directly refer the book, so in that Anderson's book all those things are very clear and there is no verb or no noun which is being repeated. But on internet there are very many sites wherein we can see this particular verb is there over here also, level 1 also, level 3 also, so we do get confused. So in order to avoid any ambiguity, what I did try to do is, means I did what we can say, put a particular name of the verb noun in that particular list wherein it does suit the most. So again, for remember and factual knowledge, so list this particular type of verb can be taken, and based on this particular type of list the instructional objectives can be defined. So wherever the same color is there, that means they do act on the same side. Like in, you can see on the right hand side yellow color, and on the right hand side that blue L which are formed. So we can directly take the same rank from that particular side also, and those particular things will be overlapping. Like in evaluate, if we do take conceptual knowledge, so it would be same as the level 4, that is analyze and the 4th cognitive domain. So so this particular evaluation or this particular same time is there, so that we will just have to keep in mind. Then in more detail, what does this factual knowledge do? This factual knowledge is usually the terminology, elements and components whichever are there. In conceptual knowledge, some categories are there, principles are there, theories are there. In procedural knowledge, specific skills, techniques, criteria for use is there. Metacognitive knowledge, there is general knowledge and self-knowledge. So these 4 knowledge dimensions are again mapped with all those 6 learning objectives which we have seen. Now, how this particular whatever the framework is being just shared by me on the previous slide, so how those things are being developed, so all those things I will be sharing over here. So in educational objective, so in this educational objective, just a dummy line is being written wherein there are 2 things. One is a noun, so this noun now can be understood as the left hand side vertical column, which is the knowledge dimension. The right or the top and horizontal column will be a verb. So all those verbs which we are having in these 6 level of cognitive domains, so all those verbs will be there on the horizontal part. Now, in order to design these things very effectively, we will be using both the things. So we will have to follow both the things so that our instructional objectives or our instructional design and all the data what we do try to create is right and good. So the design curriculum, now I did design curriculum for engineering mechanics. So you can see all the COs written, and at the end I did also try to write the weightage in percentage. So this is what was done for one particular subject. So I am sharing over here two main subjects, and of the third also I will be showing how I did that particular mini project part. So over here these COs are there, and the weightage of every CO is clearly mentioned. Now along with this, the assessment part, that is the cognitive domain, also I did try to assess, as I did share earlier with you all, like maximum of the first year students, they are there in level 1 and level 2. So means half of the class would be finishing, wherein we do come to level number 4. So I did purposely, or I did personally feel like there is no meaning in creating any instructional objective which will be having level 6 onwards. So instead of that, you can see the distribution over here. So in continuous assessment, which is of 40 marks, there are 3 tests which are there: test 1, test 2, and test 3. Then assignments will be given, 3 assignments, and average of them will be taken. And then there is a 50 marks term and examination. So based on this, the distribution was done. And for every test also, you can see, remember, 10 percentage question will be there, then understand 10% question, and apply the weightage would be of means out of these 40 marks, these 3 question papers will be there of 40 marks each. Then the average of these 3 is being taken. Then initially it was suggested to take the average of any 2 or best of 3. So that also can be done, but over here in this NMIMS, they do usually want to be strict related to the attendance part. So purposely in the start they did tell like to go ahead with the average of the 3 test itself. Then in 3, so you can see, means 10, 10 and 80. So this is how I did try to formulate the objectives. I did try to formulate the assignments also, and I did try to formulate the end semester examination also. Now in order to be what we can say aware, and in order to make students also aware like how the topics are going to flow, so this particular course map, concept mapping is done. This concept mapping, this concept tool is an open source tool which can be freely downloaded. And based on this particular course map, concept map, sorry, can be developed for each and every course. So the course map which I did develop over here, so it was in this particular subject, free body mechanics is there, which will deal with 2 different domains, statics and dynamics. So in statics, what all a student will be learning, so statics will be dealing with the 4 subtopics which is shown, and dynamics will be dealing with 2 subtopics which is shown. And in dynamics, the classification is of kinematics and kinematics of, so kinematics of particle and kinematics of rigid body dynamics. Then statics of particle of, so these are the 4 subtopics in static of particle. So this is how the entire map of the entire subject is directly there in front of us. I directly did not come to this particular correct map at once, means there were many number of iterations. Some point of time the objectives were wrong, and some point of time the mapping was not happening, and some point of time those marks I was not able to calculate. So again, this is a bit iterative part, iterative topic. And again, if you do feel that this is correct, and again when you do take this to your senior, so he or she may again give us some correction. So all those things are there, and every person whoever has taught this particular subject, so he might also feel personally like aise nahi aise karna chahiye. So all those things are there. But since finally everything was agreed, so this is the concept map which I did try to develop for this particular subject. Then the next subject was engineering, finite element analysis. The previous subject was common to both of them classes. Now over here, this finite element analysis subject, again, this is an numerical subject. So this would be there for MBA Tech third year, sorry, not semester. So in this particular subject, so all the COs are there, and the percentage weightage of each particular CO is being shared, then calculated also. So again, to see which level we can directly go. So in order to do that, now since I did see that third year students are a bit now experienced with all the basics of what we can say of the branch also, like mechanical engineering, now they do know everything. And now since age wise also and mind wise also they have grown. So remember part I did not put anything. So understand, apply, analyze, and also since they did have to make the models by their own, so hence this evaluate part was given as an assignment to them. So assignment, you can see it is 100% evaluate part only. So whatever they would be learning based on these level 2, 3 and 4 type of questions, so based on that only the final evaluation of FE would be this lab part would be done, and the semester end examination, the level of understanding of the questions percentage is level 2 10%, level 3 70%, and again level 4 20%. Now I do know that in level 4 there are not more students, so this is what I did keep. Then the concept mapping of this particular subject, finite element analysis, it again consists of introductory part. Since I did know that this is the introductory part, so level 1 I did not go. I did not put much of the question from level 1. Then the theory of elastic part, one-dimensional problems, two-dimensional problems, and isoparametric and higher order elements. So this is what I did design for the concept map for finite element analysis subject. Now this is the second part. Over here we do complete the second part of this lean model. We did identify the value of the subject of the student, sorry. So in order to identify the correct value of the student, that particular 4QS model was being created. Then mapping. So in order to map the students, we usually do not know, or we do not up till now have any this particular what we can say a variable which can be directly taken with the levels of understanding. So that particular levels of understanding mapping with the students actual level of understanding. So that particular thing is also done in step number 2. Now since everything is mapped, now in the simulator what we can do is, if on the simulator also we do work, so based since this 4QS model is there, so in that particular 4QS model we can directly means we can directly create a prediction how he or she will be what we can say performing. So I did try to predict the results of the students. Test 1, test 2 and test 3, so 3 tests were there. I did personally search, and it may be like this particular, I did come up with this particular algorithm, KNN algorithm, which is again in ML. So I did use this KNN algorithm. In this KNN algorithm, I did initially give a data of 20 students. So what this is doing, as soon as the semester starts, we do have the SSC marks, we do have the HSC marks. Now along with this, in a table, I did tabulate the 4QS test data, and then these data was directly given to this KNN algorithm. And this K means how many number of neighbors do you want. So it is 1, 3, 5, 7, and wherever the nearest, this particular algorithm bisects the graph, and it does see where that particular algorithm can directly see whatever given now the value is there. So with whom this particular value is the nearest. So if it is with pass or if it is with fail, so that particular data will be provided by this particular algorithm. So this is what was is usually now done in Eclipse. So in Java, the 4QS model is being created. I do not have that particular form with me right now. So everything is there in this particular IDE. So the test is there wherein student will be entering whatever solution, whatever option he or she does feel right. So once this test is done, then based on whatever data he is having, so object key or object value, whatever value the algorithm is having, it does try to predict, and along with that, which queue that particular student is low in, so or is not good in, so that particular things are there. And in the end, you can see that the student needs to now focus more on Q1 test. So the first test, which was the adversity question test, so there a student has to focus correctly. So based on that particular part, this particular prediction is being done. Now KNN, until and unless we do provide any data, it won't be able to predict. So in order to do that, and it is an iterative part again, what I did do was I did give data of 20 students, and I did just use a small rule over there. So for example, this is the Excel sheet which is ready with me. So a student will be predicted fail. So if a student is having marks less than 70%, and if his IQ is low, then the student, or then the algorithm will predict that the student will definitely fail in test 1. Then if there are 3 L's, so from the 4 Q's, apart from stress, if there are 3 L's there in a row, so that particular student will again be predicted fail. Then if there is L in AQ and SQ, so along with AQ and SQ, if there is L and stress is high, so these are the 3 general rules which I did use, and which apart means just next to the stress I did then put the values pass, fail, pass, fail. So this is the 20 dummy data initially which I did give to the algorithm. Then based on this dummy data, the prediction for test 1, test 2, test 3 was being taken. Test 1, the result was again added, and again what we can say that updated value, like predicted is fail, but the actual value is pass. So all those values are again being fed to the algorithm, and again test 2 and test 3 results were taken. So in order to establish the pull, so what basic pull we can do in while delivering the curriculum? Why? Because this is the third step, and herein we might be now going to deliver the lecture, and we do know the levels of student, we do know the levels of understanding. Based on that, we have derived all those content what we did need, and based on that only now we do want to establish a pull, so that we do, if it would be good, like if we do identify the students who are going to fail, and we do focus more on them. So over here cognitive level is there on the left hand side, then the number of students. So this is the test 1 prediction using KNN for first year IT students. The level of cognitive level is there on the left. So each students in the bar graph which I did show earlier, so these are the number of students in each level. Then the test weightage was shown over here, and the prediction. So the algorithm predicted that 15 students are going to fail out of 57, and after test 1 only 5 number of students failed. So this was the initial prediction for test 1. For test 1 again for the third year class, it did show that 13 number of students will fail, but only one student did fail. So this was the test 1 prediction, wherein it is clear that the prediction is not good at all, and it is not matching. But as soon as I did update these data in the algorithm, and again for test 2 when I did run the test, so the percentage of the difference might be great, but again the difference is very less. So it is not showing means 2-digit difference or very much difference over here. So this is the prediction for test 2 after the test 1 marks are also added over here. So based on the level of understanding, the test 2 percentage, sorry, so whatever the percentage weightage we did have in the start, so based on that again the prediction is being taken. So for test 2 it did predict that 5 students are going to fail, but the number of failures was only 3. Then in the test 2 for the second class, the third year, so it did predict that 15 students are going to fail, because in the level 4, 5 and 6 the number of students are very less. So based on that again it did predict that number of failures would be 15, but the actual number of failures was only 10. Then for the test 3, so in test 3 here I did get a very good match over here. So it did predict 2 students, and exactly those 2 students did fail. So this is how did this model worked good after the second test result was fed. Then for third year again there was some small difference. So 9 students it did predict, but again the number of failures was a bit more, so 11 students did fail, because one more reason over here is because the student knew that out of three tests, only two might be considered. So one, many of them did leave intentionally. So this was again means issue for me also to get the correct prediction over here. So this is how I did try to create a pull factor, wherein since in the beginning of the semester only we are knowing, and we do have a regular check between the semester. So whoever is weak, so we can just pull the weak students, we can concentrate on them, and we can just see that those people do not fail. So this is the a prediction model wherein it did predict then actual and the difference. So all these things are shared with you all over here: test 1, test 1, test 3. Now once this is done, the curriculum planning. So in curriculum planning, one more thing I did do for a mechatronics subject. So in mechatronics subject, I did directly go to the level 6 and metacognitive knowledge. So what I did do was I did directly give them a mini project, and I did in the start only told them like this mini project would be carrying the marks of your assignments also, and the marks are doubled over here. So in that particular case, they did take more interest, and this particular mini project was based on 2 modules of the 6 out of those entire 6 modules. I am really sorry because I will not be able to open the link because I'm in on mobile. So. So this my mini project, whatever was given to students. So based on this mini project, 2 modules were there. One was actuators and the second one was sensors. So they were instructed to create a mini project wherein they would be using 2 of actuators, so either a DC motor, stepper motor, or servo motor, and along with that they will be using one analog sensor and one digital sensor. So this was the project which was given to them. They did, and means in the after 2 weeks of assigning the project, then the topics and all were decided, and it was seen that none of the topics do overlap. So based on that, again the mini project they did do. So because they did use all the sensors, while buying all the sensors, they did know their rating, then how the sensors work, then using Arduino, the Arduino programming was also conducted by me. So all those topics, all those sensors. So since they were doing, so learning by doing, so since they were doing everything with their hand, so the learning or the outcome or the total marks which I did assign to these 2 modules. So everywhere they were directly out. And again, while presenting also, they were also asked what the other students' sensors do. So all those sensor part and actuator part. So if one has done on DC motor, so working of stepper motor was also asked. Since he has done the project, so DC motor he does know. So stepper motor, all those things were asked. So like this, the mini project was given. And since in this particular semester, because of corona, we were not able to take the final examination, but I did tell them to send the recording of their mini project. So all the recordings are there on YouTube, and just before the semester to end, we did take the live recordings, and we did means I did complete the entire assessment part of their mini project. And based on this mini project, it was clear, like since they are directly given a task and they are doing a task of a higher cognitive domain as well as higher knowledge dimension, so all the lower dimensions were also done. So while designing the curriculum, so this is what would be the dashboard which would be visible to us. So we can assign a topic in the mini project part or in the assignment part of an higher order domain, so that the lower order learning is also attained by the students. Now, in order to seek the perfection of this particular model, since this is the 5th step of the lean model, so the prediction model was developed and was deployed to predict the result of student at regular interval and at the end of the semester. So after this particular test 3, also I did have an option to predict the semester end result, but since our university did this thing announce earlier only, that they won't be taking final year examinations. Whatever the term work is there, since 50-50 is there, so they would be directly doubling it up, and they did declare the results also of the students. So I did not do this particular part. So a small tweak in the framework is left, so minute tuning is to be done. Then more precise mapping of 4QS and cognitive level domain learning domains can be done based on the end semester results. So since a student would be behaving just like he did do in the 10th or final year exam, means he would be there in some pressure and all those things. So how he will be behaving in that particular time, so based on those, the result data can again be mapped over here, so that the 4QS model is now more accurate. And again, means what a problem from my side was, like in one class, since I did take the questions from this portal, and again on the second class, since when I'm delivering, so they did knew some of the common questions. So different questionnaires also need to be integrated in this. Then due to COVID, okay, so this thing I did share. Then progress till date. So the 4QS model, so now the complete model is there, wherein I did share with you all the learning level capacities, and how I did try to map with the learning levels which we do have. Then mapping of 4Q with the Bloom's taxonomy to get more detailed behavior of student and learning level capacity. I did develop a prediction model based on KNN algorithm. Then I did develop the lean process model to develop this particular curriculum. So up till now, 4 papers have been published. 2 are review paper. The third paper is means it was accepted in the end of the last month, and it will be published in this particular month's issue. And the fourth paper is also accepted. So the publication I am not aware. So when they are going to publish, so the paper is being accepted. So this particular fourth paper. So I did use 2 review paper, then 4QS, the entire model also, along with the results and all those things I did share in this third paper. Then the entire framework, so how all these things can be developed, so all those things are being shared in this particular fourth paper. Now work to be completed. This since I'm from mechanical department, this coding part is very difficult for me, but still I'm trying. So this Bonitas of BPM Java based framework to simulate the delivery of the curriculum. So whatever the fine tuning is there, so that I'll be doing. The 4QS test is, so this framework would be consisting of this 4QS test. The prediction will be there, concept map. So it will just give an upload option, so that you can, and the link of the software will be given. So you can just download, install the software and upload this particular concept map. And then creating activities, so that 2-dimensional table which I did show, that particular table will be there on dashboard, wherein we can click, and either we can design our instructional objective, or we can click over there, and whoever student has or student wise also we will be able to see. So this will be there in the final this framework. So the direct live demo I will be giving, and we will be simulating a curriculum. Like if we do solve, or if we do develop this particular curriculum, what will be the outcome at the end? So how many students will be able to pass, how many students will be able to fail, or what all things will be there. So all those things we will be able to predict in this particular part. So these are the references, and thank you all.
Sandy, where is your references?
Sir, are the references visible?
No. Once again, you show your references.
Sir, I have shown, these references or below the figure?
Okay. Sunny?
Yes, sir.
Just answer this query.
Hi, Dr. Mukesh Kalla. My question is that you are using the KNN algorithm.
Yes, sir.
So what is the drawback of KNN algorithm, you know?
Sir, one drawback which when I did read, and since initially I was having less data, so one drawback which I did personally found on the internet, it was like when the number of data increases, it does take some time in because it does sort the data and then it does predict. So that as the data increases, the time increases. So this is what I do know. I may be wrong, and I do really want to know if I did
No,
miss
the
anything.
algorithm is also available for prediction of the things.
Which one, sir?
There are a lot of algorithms are available, random forest algorithms, which we can
Okay,
also
sir.
use to identify the prediction.
Okay.
Another my question is that how to check the accuracy of the algorithm? Which method you are using to find the accuracy of the algorithm?
Sir, the prediction, whatever is there, so whatever the output the algorithm gives and the actual data, so that is there wherein we can check the accuracy of this particular algorithm.
No, my meaning is that there is a log loss method, Jacob index. Which method you are using to find the accuracy? You can check the accuracy, but you have never shown me which method you have followed to find the accuracy of the KNN algorithm.
Sir, I did miss that particular part, hence I did not show.
So
So that
please you include that thing, okay?
sure, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Another question is that in a knowledge representation, you show me that is a procedural knowledge representation and like that.
Yes, sir.
There is a different type of knowledge representation. So
Yes,
do
sir.
you have used any rule of inference?
I did use any.
Rule of inference to find the conclusion based on the certain hypothesis. Because in the whatever the table you have to show, you have to show it is a middle, it is a large. But suppose the number of data is so large, so it is very
Okay.
difficult to identify. If suppose for a 30 student and 60 student, you can easily identify the what is the characteristics with the help of noun and. But if suppose the large number of data set, then certainly you have to design the mathematical model.
Right, sir. So over here, since whatever test I did take, the marks were directly means at the end of those tests, high, medium, low. So the category was directly given in the paper itself. Like if this is the marks, then high, medium, low can be done. Since data was less, sir, so I did go with that. But means my sister, she's doing data science, so she did tell me yesterday only like you will have to see the skewness also and all those parts. So means with data, since I'm from mechanical, sir, I did not play more with that data. So that data, whatever you are saying, that is also right. If the data increases, then that data scientist part also and playing with data part also does come into the picture. So my high, medium and low might not work in that particular case, but since it was referred in that particular paper, I did directly take those as high, medium and low.
So we go through this thing.
Okay, sir.
Now the last question is that how to carry out the finite element analysis. You use the term finite element analysis. So how to carry out the finite element analysis?
Sir, I'm not able to hear your question. How to what?
How to carry out finite element analysis?
How to teach, like how to carry out?
Yeah, you can analyze the finite element. So how to carry out this process?
Okay, so in means the entire procedure, should I explain finite element analysis?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So in in every actual world, we cannot directly do any infinite task. For example, if we do want to measure anything also, so what we do try to do is we do try to break it into smaller distances. For example, we do try to take a 30 centimeter scale and we do try to measure that particular length. And our value of pi, so 3.14, so that also they did break the circles into many number of divisions, and then that particular 3.14, that particular value is being derived in this graphical method. There are other methods also. In finite element analysis, we do try to what we can say mesh, and we do try to divide the entire domain into smaller number of finite elements. These smaller number of finite elements, we do know the behavior of them. So for each smaller finite element, there are methods, and based on those methods, we do try to derive EME. So element matrix equation, that is the behavior of that particular, what we can say, a domain under consideration is done, and these values or these EMEs are then joined together. So in finite element analysis, these small finite elements are there. Then we do try to join all these finite elements, and then we do try to apply the boundary condition. So if the boundary conditions are wrong, then our solution may not converge. So again, we do have to try to what we can say, see our model again. And as long as the model is is a single what we can say, single body analysis, so usually it does not give any error. But as long as we do try to do a finite element analysis of a multi-body dynamics, so there, since non-linearity comes into picture, then again the solution does not converge. So, and again, since the same formulas can be applied to n number of domains, so these things can be the way in electronics, those RLC and circuits are there. In engineering domain, we do have vibration. So the dynamics of both of the domains is somewhat similar, wherein the parameters names are only changed. So in the same manner, a finite element matrix developed for one domain with the changes in the name of the parameters or the variables, so that also can be applied to other domains. So this is how we do the finite element analysis. And initially only 1D elements were there. Since computer did come into picture, so the number of elements and the calculation did become easy. So 2D elements, then 3D elements are there, and now multi-body also there are specific softwares wherein we can directly do analysis of these multi-body dynamics also we can do.
Okay.
Thanks, Nani. Any more question?
Sir, I am Dr. Pratik Srivastava. I
Yes,
want
sir.
to ask. Sir, yes.
Yes, sir, please.
Once you took here KNN
Okay.
for modeling, how you decided the value of K and how much you took here?
Sir, the value of K I did take over here was 3, since the data was less.
Yes. How you decided for 3?
Sir, that
How
was
you
an
decided?
initial guess, like the data means the number of K, value of K, based on the data also we can finalize, but I did take the value of 3, K, value of K as 3, sir.
Actually, there are some methodologies, okay? Some formulations are given there. If you follow
Okay.
these, you will find the actual value of K. If you will apply that value, you may find a good result, okay?
Okay, okay,
So
sir.
see those methodologies also. You cannot
Sure, sir.
randomly take any value as a K, okay?
Okay, sir.
You didn't show here the accuracy of your model.
Yes, sir.
You didn't mention here the accuracy of your model. Where is the accuracy of your model?
Sir, I did show like means a percentage I did not calculate, but it did predict 2, and 2 were only fail. So that I did show like means. So in
Okay.
accuracy, like so prediction and all those part I did show. So over here, sir.
That was a
What is-
comparative table. Actually, I saw that there was a comparative table, but
Yes,
every
sir.
model comes with the accuracy. Okay, every model
Okay,
that mathematical model comes with the accuracy. You have to mention that one. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Any more question? Sunny.
Okay, how do you define highly
Sir, means is it me who was not audible? Like how you define that much I did heard. After that, I did not hear anything.
highly spiritual students?
Sir, your voice is cracking. How?
Highly spiritual student. Visither is asking how to define highly spiritual student.
Okay, sir. So for defining a spiritual student, the spiritual test was taken, SQ. So in that particular spiritual test, different scenarios were given to him. So based on those particular scenarios, means it was known to the question in the questionnaire how he may or what should be the ideal output. So based on the answers, what he does give, the test at the end gives some marks, and based on that marks again the distribution was given, like from this range to this range H may be there, and from this range to this range medium may be there, and from this range to this range low may be there.
Okay. Thanks, Sunny.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Any more question? If there is no more question, we can end this meeting. Okay, thanks.